Today on Game Reviewified, we're going to reviewify Test Drive Unlimited 2 for the PC, available on Steam and PC DVD-ROM. First off, I'd like to mention the controls for this game. You can either use the keyboard, Xbox 360 controller, Logitech controller, or a Logitech steering wheel that's supported by the game. I've only used the Xbox 360 controller, and I have to say the controls are pretty accurate. You do have 3 choices on how you want to control throughout the game, but you're only given this option once as a difficulty at the beginning of the game. I never tested the keyboard for this game, but I did hear that people didn't like how it controlled. And I can see why, because simulator games need controllers or steering wheels, because the keyboard just isn't accurate enough for these types of games. Now for the features in this game. The game offers 2 maps of play, and they include Ibiza and Oahu, which is the map from the first game, but is slightly updated with more roads to travel. The maps are quite big, and Burnout's map has nothing on this because each map on Test Drive would have you traveling a whole day, maybe longer if you do choose to just travel. There's a license system for each map that'll be in a category of the cars you get in the game. You have the A-type cars, which are your sports cars, the fastest cars in the game, and probably the best cars you can get. You have B cars, which are your off-road rally cars, and you have the C cars, which are your classic cars, and you start off with in the game. This game also contains a leveling up system in 5 categories. Whether it's dressing you in clothes, you'll level up in a category for that, or racing in the game, you'll level in a category for that. Your level cap goes all the way to level 70. This game also features an online multiplayer experience, which of course is probably the best part of the game. The game is an open world online game, so while you try to beat the game in single player licenses, championships, and so on, you can also compete in online multiplayer races by flashing your lights at a fellow online opponent, or choosing to accept a race by a fellow opponent. The game also features text-based chat or voice chat. There is also DLC in this game, which contains a casino, so you can collect coins and buy things, only available in the casino for use in the game. There is also cars which you can get from your pre-purchases of the game, or the cars available for purchase at their website. This game also contains a storyline for the championship and cup races. There are 6 events in the game, and they'll be scattered throughout each championship cup race. They are lap races, start to finish races which don't contain laps, elimination, speed trap to get the highest speed in 5 sectors, speed race to get the highest score by going the highest speed without stopping, and then there is the time races where you have to have the best time. The game also includes from the first game a pick up and drop off race, which means you pick up a woman or a man and drop them off to a destination without going off course, getting into accidents, and some of the races can award you some good cash. There's another feature in this game that'll offer you hours and hours of play. Each sector of the map has 10 car wrecks, so there's about 60 wrecked cars you can find in the game. I haven't found 10 cars in one sector, so I don't know what you're awarded other than leveling up in the category for this feature. There is also a pursuit mode in this game. It's pretty bland and almost identical to Need for Speed World's Pursuit, where you have to smash into a cop car to get in the chase. But what's different in this game is the pursuit mode is insane, as cop cars just come at you in all directions, and I think this is a more arcade take on a pursuit mode. On Steam, there's 57 achievements to get, which will give you more time on your hands in this game. There is also 101 cars throughout the game you can purchase. Who knows, the list may get bigger with DLC and updates in the future. The sound in the game isn't too bad. The cars sound pretty realistic, and the music is played over 2 radio stations, which are your hip-hop, dance, and your rock music, which a good amount of bands, but not enough for how many hours you'll be playing this game. The graphics in this game are pretty decent, but for a computer game, this almost looks like a game that could have been played on the original Xbox. The characters and cars are the most realistic in this game, but it doesn't mean the graphics are that bad. It would have been hard to make the world more realistic with how big the maps are in this game. Now I have to give this game a good score out of 10. I give this game an amazing 8.0 out of 10. This game is probably one of the greatest arcade racers available at the moment for the PC. The online multiplayer is great, but again we're missing out on offline multiplayer. The sound was great, even though we had a lot of music to listen to, it's not enough for how big the game is. The DLC in this game is pretty amazing. You'll probably end up buying new cars so you can beat your opponents and of course have the biggest car collection in the game. and the casino was a great add-on as well. The controls were great for this game, but keyboard isn't the style for this game. It's looking for you to buy a controller. The storyline was a little bland, and the graphics were like that of the original Xbox, but a little more polished and arcadish. The fun will never end in this game, as there's a lot of stuff to do at the time reviewing this. I can say it's really fun racer, but I can see this game losing its fun playing for months and months. But I can see people coming back for more after a bit of a hiatus. Well, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will reviewify again in another episode of Game Reviewify. Thank you, and goodbye.